Hey guitarists, today we're diving into a song that's been covered by everyone from Linda Ronstadt to the Byrds. Get ready to learn the soulful licks of Little Feat's Willin, a tune that'll have you playing like a road-weary trucker in no time. Here's a little bit about the song. The song was first recorded for Little Feat's self-titled debut album in 1971. While it appeared on their debut, the version most people know is from their second album, Sailin' Shoes, released in 1972. The song was written by Lowell George, Little Feat's founder and lead guitarist. Other original band members included Bill Payne, keyboards, Roy Estrada, bass, and Richie Hayward on drums. Lowell George reportedly wrote Willin while he was still a member of Frank Zappa's Mothers of Invention, if you can imagine that. Also to note, before we get going, the song is in 4/4 or common time. So we're starting with the intro, which I like to play like this, on fret number 10, and we could use the two middle strings open, the D and the G as open strings, and then fret number 12 on the B string. So we're basically using the four middle strings to get these beautiful open descending sounds. Okay, so we're starting with G, the bass line descends to F sharp in the bass, and then it descends to E, and then C to G, and then it walks up to C, and then D, and back to G. The chord shapes we have, this is the first one. We have finger 1 on fret 10 on the A string. Then we move up 2 frets and then up 1, 2, 3 strings. And that's the chord shape that we're looking for. That's one of 2 that we're starting with. The next one is the first finger moves down 1/2 step, the equivalent of 1 fret, down to fret number 9. And number 9 is going up 1 fret, up 2, 3 strings to the next or second shape. So we have a major shape, and then a minor shape, and then another minor shape, heading down to another major shape, and then here's the G chord. And it's last 3 fingers we're using here to play the G because we're going right into the C, and then D add 4, and back to C, and then G chord. We pluck the bass note and then let the chord unwind, which is really cool, right? So we have this really cool strum pattern, which is 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, T 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 and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3. Okay, so there's that section. I've been from Tucson to Carey. We're moving from the C chord here in the chorus part, approaching the chorus to the D chord, to G. He's driven every kind of rig. So from the G chord, we're ascending up to the C, but by way of A minor 7, and then G with B in the bass, and then C, and then we come back and drop the low E string, which is a huge bomb, and then we go back to the C, and then we work up to the D chord and then hang there. And if you give me so we come back down after that suspended, after that little bit of rubato or random time-ishness happening here on D, we come back down from the way we ascended up to the C chord. We move from C to the G with B in the bass, to the A minor 7, to the G again. And you can use that up down, up, down on the open G, fret 2 on the D, and then up on the D, and then the down on the G, to make that 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and to make that little roll at the end, just kind of tie it all together if you'd like. Here's a little bit about the guitar we're using today. I'm using a Dreadnaught sized guitar, this size and shape. You know, it's a little bit longer scale. It's a Morgan, made by a luthier in Canada. I just play this one a lot and I really enjoy it. I have a Page capo here that I use in case we need to get out and step out onto the neck. It's right here handy. I don't have to fumble around with it in my, looking for it in my pocket. But the guitar is Morgan, and it's made by a luthier in Canada. I'm going to offer a few tips here for adding your personal style and exploring some improvisation as well. So the song is basically in the key of D, right? G. And so we have the G major scale. Right? So we have that open, G major scale that we can play here. Two octaves worth. We can use patterns. We can patternize it if we wanted to expand that a little bit. We could use third position with that finger stretch. We can use arpeggios to kind of expand our reach across the guitar neck, which is pretty fun to do. We've got 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, and then 1, 3, 5, and then we can finish up at the third octave up here on the 15th fret on the high E string. Those are all G, B, D notes, G, B, D notes, G, B, and D, and then G. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. Another thing that we could do is we could also learn the melody. This is a really important piece of any song that we do. So we've got the song that... So we're going to have to interpret or translate the melody and find those melodic notes one note at a time. But you can do it, and it's a lot of fun to do that. So I would encourage you to do that on your own time, because it's really where all of the growing occurs. Here's another thing that we could do. We could, while we're up here on this pattern here, we could start talking about, well, why are we using this pattern instead of this pattern? Instead of that open, position is kind of like the Friend of the Devil introduction, right, from American Beauty. I guess we could do that too, right? But I think we've got more strings here. We have more open strings. We have one open string we can use here. Here we have two open strings, and instead of having a D as the highest note on the voicing, the guitar chord shape, we have a B note on the 12th fret as the highest note. So we have a much more open sounding, wider voicing. Plus, we can use that to our advantage to help fill out some larger, louder parts of the song as we get going. It gives us a place to go. So that's that. Well, let's put it all together right here. So we start here in the beginning. We move down a half step to eventually end up on C, and then find ourselves on G, and then into that little punch lick, right? That little punch riff, and we repeat it. Plenty of room for fudging around. drops the bomb. And then C, and then C sharp to D. Right here, G, walk back down to G. And then show me the D, and I'll be willing to keep playing. Well, I hope you've enjoyed learning Willin. If you found this tutorial helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more classic rock guitar lessons. Leave a comment with your progress or any songs you'd like to see covered next. Keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, happy picking.